welcome everybody. My name is Chrissy and today I'm going to give you I thought I'd do a financial prediction update. I know a few of you have been asking for that, and it's always good to kind of touch base about the finances and what's kind of going on around the globe. I have got Sophie over here. You'll see her tail go sometimes when I say her name, Sophie. Often her tail will go if I stop patting her. See? She likes a bit of attention and she talks with her tail. And I've got, of course, my big boy, Sprocket. I've got to hold his hand. He always likes me to hold his hand. So I'm just going to close my eyes and we'll just get started and see what comes through with finances. Oh, we're becoming the crypto capital. Oh, it's almost showing me like a big poker machine, if you think of poker machines, and someone, I don't know if you can remember, a lot of them are push button now, but if you pulled the handle, this is years ago, the old-fashioned poker machines, if you pulled the handle, you had a big jackpot and all the money just is pouring out. Now it's like showing me all the gold coins are just flowing out. They're pouring all over the machine into the base and they're falling onto the floor, and there's this outpouring of gold coin. Now this could be the cryptocurrency. We know that there's a lot of changes happening digitally, and to me that sort of and I'm hoping that it doesn't represent the jackpot to the wealthy and elites who are making all their money and like winning the jackpot, because that's how it's kind of feeling, I'm afraid. There's definitely, sorry, Sprocket's just got really sharp nails. I'll just hold his hand. He's so funny, isn't he? He's got we call it the connect when he connects to us. So I'm definitely getting that outpouring of the coin. So this to me would be that rollout of the cryptocurrency, the Bitcoins, all that kind of thing is really going on globally now. I think we all know we can't hold that back anymore, that the financial structure is changing. I think we've all kind of come to some sort of acceptance of that. And there's massive movement. When they're showing me like a poker machine and winning that jackpot, I don't think we're the ones playing the machine and winning the jackpot, do you? I think this is about clearly the elites, big pharma, Sprocket, big pharma, all the people that are involved in these, financial gain and riches are the ones that are making all the money from all of this, as we know. But I'm definitely getting that rolling out, like, of that coin now. Like, that's definitely something that's really starting to come to fruition. I'll see what else we get, but I'm definitely getting that's really on the move now. There's a lot of movement. It's actually starting to sort of pour out now. The governments are passing a lot of things that are bringing and implementing that kind of thing into our lives now. I'll just see what else we get today around finance. Well, I'm getting that the global economy has crashed. I think we all know that. I think you'd have to have your head buried in the sand to not be seeing what's happening around the globe. And this is everywhere, all avenues, all aspects of life, except, of course, miraculously, the elites and the wealthy are not going to collapse. It's just the middle income earners and the low socioeconomic sort of, we're going to be taken to a lot more poverty. But there's definitely this global crash, and we know that's coming. I don't think that's even going to be a surprise for anyone watching my videos. We knew that was coming a while ago, but it's really happening now. They're really starting to ramp that up because they're wanting this to happen faster. Sophie's tail. She talks with her tail. Oh, she's so funny. Look at her. Attention-seeking, that girl. And so that's what I'm getting. They're wanting this to ramp up faster. They really want to get the ball rolling now. And it's like I said, like with our pushbacks and the things that we've done to sort of hold things off, it's allowed information to come out and truths to come out, but they don't want this happening anymore. So they're wanting to really get all this ball rolling because they need to get it all implemented before any more people kind of stand up to them. And, we've talked about how finance really affects people. It has a big impact on people. And oh, Sophie, Look at her leg sticking up in the air it's like a little chicken leg. And that's what I'm getting. They need this rollout to really happen now, because they don't want people to have their voices and have their say and stand up. And that's definitely something that I'm getting, that this rollout of the economy crash and bills being implemented, things being passed, it's happening really quickly now. It's like they've hit their standard goal, and now they're wanting to move beyond that goal by establishing their financial scenarios moving forward. I'm definitely getting that around governments. They're really trying to implement this really fast now. And the old currency is dying. I think we all know that. Boo-hoo. They're showing me like the sad face and the grief. Oh gosh. It's hard to even keep up with, isn't it? So I feel like the old currency is definitely dying. Doesn't matter what currency you're using, pounds, dollars, baht, it doesn't matter. All the currencies are dying, because of course we know they're wanting to create this one centralized bank where they control everything, and everybody's purse strings and all that, and they'll dictate to us what we can and can't have, and what we can and can't buy, and what we can and can't borrow. I'm definitely getting that. So this is all like being a bit sped up now. There's become like this urgency around the dollar, because they don't want people seeing what's coming at them. Oh my gosh. I'll just see what else we get today. Yeah, I'm definitely getting that like financial stream is really flowing. It's just not turning back now. It's almost like they're showing me like the releasing of a dam. It's like when you have excess water. Oh, sorry, Sprock, I've got to hold his hand. When you have excess water, for example, like the floods here or that excess rain, it causes the dams to really build up, and it gets to the point where they have to kind of release some water out of the dams, or there's going to be like this huge overflow that they can't control. So it's like they're now releasing the water from the dams, which is the financial flow. So they're actually releasing that now, and like I said, it's coming pretty fast, and that's starting to really flow downstream. So this is what their guides are saying. It's going to have a real effect on people downstream, which is all of us and people that are waking up. It's going to have a huge impact on all our lives. It's like a flooding event. We could put it down to, like here in Australia where we've been getting major flooding events, we could put it down to that it's going to be like that major flooding event that's just going to, seriously, it's just going to drown people. And this is drown people financially. They're not going to be able to stay afloat anymore. It's just going to take people and wipe them out. Oh, and that's a change, isn't it? As if they haven't wiped out enough people's businesses and jobs. And so there's more coming, but this is around finance. They're just going to virtually take everybody to the cleaners, basically. I'll see what else we get today. Now, I get that they're hiding a lot of factors. Now, we don't need to be rocket scientists to work out that they're hiding a lot of factors around finance and truths and where this is heading and where it's all going, and we seem to have like zero input into any of this. Now, I don't know how you guys feel out there, but I know myself, we've worked really hard for the things that we've achieved, and I know that you guys are probably in the same boat. And it's like they are just ripping that rug out from beneath us, and we're sort of scrambling, but we're not quite scrambling yet, but we're trying to work out how do we navigate this. Here in Australia, they're talking about, I talked the other day about, we're going to the vote on Saturday, and one Prime Minister is talking about how the government will lend you money to buy a home, which is a very bad idea because they're putting up your deposit virtually, and it sounds like they're going to own your home. You're not going to own your home. And then the other politician is talking about now they're going to allow you to use your superannuation money. I think you can use up to $50,000 of your superannuation as a deposit for your home, which is also a bad idea because then you've cut into your super and you've got sort of no money to live off if you ever manage to retire, which is almost getting near impossible now, isn't it, as they push the age out all the time. So you know, there's really not much in it for the average person to have sort of positive viewpoints moving forward. Like, how come we're not having any say in this economy at all? So this is what I'm definitely getting. There's this, it's like they're trying to dangle carrots, but it's like, to me, it's like the carrot's laced in poison, because if you take a bite of that carrot, you're just going down a road of toxicity, and there'll be no turning back. There'll be no outroad for people but other than sort of bankruptcy and handing your home over if you can't meet those repayments. So it's just that's just an example of what's happening here in Australia. There might be different things happening where you are. Maybe let me know down below. It's really interesting when we compare what's happening in all our different countries, because we're all going through different experiences at the moment, and we're all at different stages in this kind of reset agenda. Apart from the money issues starting to pour out, that's global. They're starting to really shake this up and roll it out now. All the while, still, you know, we've still got the virus variants and things coming out. God, there's a new one, B212, or there's even a new one which we knew was going to happen. I just call it BS personally, but that's just my opinion. We all have our own opinions. But financially, we're going into a real global crisis now. Oh, God. And maybe for us, and you watching my video, it'd be a good time now for us to put our blinkers on, which is like the horse blinkers, where you put the blinkers on to not distract the horse from what's giving them that sort of tunnel vision. That's what I'm saying, and the guides are saying to you financially, just focus on your own vision. Don't get distracted by everything that's going on out there in the financial world. I know it has an effect on us, and we do have to plan ahead and be a bit clever and a bit smart, but they're sort of saying to you, just focus on your own finances without taking everything else on board. Like, don't worry about the debt that your country owns, or, you know, what's happening with other people. Like, just really, again, it's that getting back to staying in your strength and your power, and that's financially as well. Just stay on your path and keep your focus really clear, and try, of course, to smooth that path out if you can. You know, we talk about investing in silver and gold. They're things that are great in this sort of economy when it's a bit shaky. Try and own your home if you can. Try not to go into too much more debt with things like that at the moment, just because it's a little tricky. It's going to be tricky to navigate in the next, I reckon, 1 to 2 years at least. This financial economy is going to really challenge us all. So it's very important that we also just keep directed on our path and keep ourselves kind of moving forward. Even if it's at a slow pace, it's okay as long as you're just, you know, still making inroads with those mortgages or car loans, and just try and get on top of things in the next year or two. You know, we know their agenda is for 2030, but that's not that far away if we think about it. Look how quickly the years fly by, and we're already we're heading to 2023, really. It's not that far away. So these are the things you've just got to focus and keep your sort of head down and bum up financially, and just keep moving forward and just chipping away at things. And don't fall for the dangling carrots. I think they're going to give them to everybody. This is globally. I think it's already happening probably in Canada, because that carrot is going to be laced with poison, I'm afraid, and it'll be very toxic to your future going forward. So be very careful of any of these great whirlwind promises that parliamentarians and that are making to you, because if it sounds too good to be true, it is too good to be true. And I think that's a lesson most of us have learnt over our lives. If something sounds too good to be true, well, we know how that always ends. It usually, like I said, it is too good to be true. Nothing's free in this world. I mean, that's a lesson you learn very young, that you see, oh, that's free though, and then you realise, no, it's not, because I've just signed up for something for 6 months payments, and, you know, we'll pay now, you know, and you don't have to borrow money, and you can just pay us later down the track. This is the latest thing that I don't know if you guys have seen that much, but I know they're focusing on a lot of younger people and saying, you know, buy now, pay later. That's becoming a really common thing, and it's very, very dangerous, because young people are getting into more and more and more debt, and they're going to look for any outroad to get out of that debt. So this is kind of where government knows they've got people trapped, and especially young people who are pretty digitally savvy, a lot more than sort of my generation onwards. That they know how to manipulate these young people because they're always on devices, they're always on their phone, they're always popping up ads in their faces, that they know how to manipulate, and we know that because they know everything about us, and especially financially they're going to know more. There's not much they don't know now, I don't think, to be honest. Like I said, the reset's pretty much 3/4 through. It's probably almost nearly done and dusted. It's not far away, is it? So this is what I'm getting. You know, we just have to have real good focus on our own path financially moving forward. I'll see what else we get today around finances. Yeah, they're just saying don't fall for any traps. No traps, because they're saying it's like a hidden trap door too. You could really fall down, you know, if you lift that door up and you slip in, you could just fall down to the black hole of financial debt and crises. So they're saying keep the lid on that trap door, don't fall for the traps. And that's a big message today, and that's for everybody watching this video. Don't fall for their traps, which is similar to the dangling poison carrot, I guess, isn't it? I'll see what else we get around finance. Oh, I get the global masters are concocting a plan financially. See, what you've got to remember with these narcissistic people who are planning, who are like nobodies, but have suddenly decided a great idea if they took over the world, they're planning their empire, I guess you could call it. And they just keep building and building and building and building. And it's showing me, like, you know, the pyramids. Although I sometimes question how the pyramids were made. I often think, was it made by extraterrestrials or some other force? But they're showing me the pictures of people dragging those big square blocks of the pyramid. And this is what's happening. We've got these masters who think they're masters in finance, getting us, normal people, to build their, like, pyramids. And we're just these little plebs that are being told and guided what to do. We've got the rope and we're all pulling along, and we're building this big empire virtually, which is like the representation of the pyramid for these elite people, who is totally unjustified, and people are just going along with this madness. It is absolutely insane, and that's the visual that I'm getting. These people think they are like the Tutankhamons and all these great leaders, and they deserve all the gold and all the money and all the treasures, and we just have to you know, build their tombs and have everything ready for them because they're elite and they're, you know, up there in their, oh God, imagination, I would call it personally. But they think that all of us are going to just keep pulling along and doing what we're told, like good little peasants, and build their great big, you know, I'll call them towers as well in a few of my videos, but they're showing me definitely that pyramid energy, that they think they are above us. These people making those financial decisions and putting things, implementing things in place that are going to cause us to become more like peasants. They think we're just going to keep going along with this. But the message that the guys are giving me again, and I said it the other week, we just have to drop the rope. We just have to drop that rope. We've got to stop pulling those massive big blocks around and stop complying. I know if you're watching my video, we're pretty good at doing this. We're good at not complying, aren't we? And I know that a lot of people that are waking up are getting even better as well at not complying, because this is about their hip pocket and their finances. And when it comes to the dollar, people are going to have a lot to say around this, and they're not going to be happy. So don't be surprised if they start to drop that rope as well. So, you know, that's the message the guides are kind of giving me today. I think we've already dropped the rope, to be honest. But these people waking up, they're going to start dropping that rope, because they're going to realise, hang on a minute, something is just, this is not good balance here. How come we're doing all the work and you guys are reaping all the benefits? And this is what people are seeing. And that's what I'm just definitely seeing on this global financial mess that they've sort of got us all into or are pushing us towards, that's what I'm getting. People are starting to really see it, and they're seeing it clearly. You know, I talk about those rose-colored glasses coming off and the veils lifting. Well, you could pretty much say that most of these people waking up about finance, they've probably got one really thin veil just hanging over their head now. The glasses have been tossed. And this is really positive, because we need people to wake up, because that's what gives that government the pushback, and it slows down the processes and it allows more people to wake up. And finance is something that really, really triggers a lot of people to wake up. I'll just see if there's any final messages around finance today. They're showing me like dollar symbols. So I'm getting greenback. That might mean something for you, maybe in America. They're just saying there's so much kickback when it comes to these financial issues. I mean, we know that. They're saying that like printing out money doesn't save this from happening. So, you know, as much as they keep saying, oh, they've got all the solutions to pay off our debts, and they're crying out, you know, poor me, every country, God, Australia, we're one of the worst, and I know all you guys do it, New Zealand, everybody. Everybody's got this huge debt because of the V, which we know that created a huge amount of debt. But, you know, the cost of living keeps rising. But I think what the guys are trying to say to me is nothing's making sense, because it's like they're using every excuse they can to just keep steering their ship in their direction. So they're like blaming Ukraine and Russia for all the oil prices and, like, you know, petrol and all this. And now there's these huge food shortages which are global, not just in Australia because we've had some floods. This is a global thing. Every country, I know if you're watching my videos, why is all this happening? You know, none of this is adding up, and that's why people are asking those questions around finance, and they're showing me these dollar signs, dollars. So basically, I think what we can take from the message from the guides today is that this all comes back to dollars. This was never about people's health. This was always about getting people to comply, getting people to conform to their ideas, getting people sucked in so they could take advantage of everybody, and they could become the elite rulers. And basically that's what the guides are saying today. Yes, they've had pushbacks and they've had some hurdles to overcome, and we know, like I said, a lot of us put the hurdles in front of governments recently, and that's a good thing, because it slows them down and it slows the process down, and more people wake up, and that's what's going on. And that's why I'm getting these dollar symbols. This has always been about the dollar, and the power is just like a secondary thing. We know that they're still making tons and tons and zillions of dollars. God, you'd have to honestly be just living in a cave and have no communication with the outside world to know that this is not rather about health, that this is now about the dollar and the finance and the elites building their big like pyramid. And it's funny because it's almost saying to me at the moment, it's like those terrible pyramid schemes, you know, the person at the top makes all the money and they get all the little people doing all the work for them, and they're the ones that end up making all the money. But how many times, and this is what the guys are saying to you, with a pyramid scheme, does it collapse? And if you look back quite regularly, those pyramid schemes aren't built on a good foundation. Again, because the people aren't involved. They don't know what's going on. And so that's why it hasn't got that firm foundation. So I think we have to leave the finances at that today, that these sort of pyramid schemes that the elites and the powerful are building aren't on a good foundation, and that they could just collapse at any minute, because you hear about that all the time. You hear of so many dodgy pyramid schemes where people are making, you know, really good money, but then it all collapses because people get wind of it and they realize that, hang on, I'm down here doing all the work but making no money, and then suddenly you guys are just like taking all the profits. And I think I talked about this in Australia too, I talked about the coal industry early on in the year and how the miners were doing all the hard work, and then suddenly like the elites are taking all the money, and things are really changing a lot in that industry here in Australia. So this is where it becomes very unfair and imbalanced, and they show me like the seesaw. You know, you put a little kid on this side of the seesaw and you put a really big heavy kid who might be 10 years older on the seesaw, and boom, the little kid nearly flies off the seesaw because everything's totally out of balance. And that's what I'm getting financially. This world is pretty effed up and it's out of balance. And the elites are just like tipping the seesaw in their favor. Like, this is what's happening. But they need people to bump them off. But that's why I always talk about us supporting each other and coming together in groups, because when we do that, we have more power and we have more weight and more say in things. So when we jump on that seesaw, we jump on as a group, and that causes them to sort of bounce off, and they become, you know, floating in the air and unstable in their positions. And that's what I'm going to leave you with today. So look, take care of your finances, keep looking ahead, just focus on your own. Don't get too panicky about what's going on out there. It's nice to be aware of what's happening and see what's coming at you, but it's most important that you focus your finances on you and building your own sort of, I suppose wealth, but building your financial, making sure you're making financial progression in your life and not staying just sort of frozen in that fear of, oh my gosh, what's coming at us? I don't think I'm going to manage and be able to make my repayments. Just do the things that can simplify your life, and don't get into huge debt, and start to think about ways of investing that are going to be clever in your future moving forward. You know, we know how cars are going up. Like, to spend 80, 100 grand on a car, unless you've got the money to do that, that's absurd. That's like like a small home loan. You'll be paying that off for the next like 30 plus years. It's just absurd to me, the way the things that are going on. And so look, leave me some comments below. Let me know what's happening with you guys and how you're feeling about some of these financial things, because I think it's a huge issue that we're all kind of dealing with in our own different ways. Don't forget to subscribe, of course. Hit the bell notification. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Take care. Don't get too overwhelmed about the finances. I know it's hard not to sometimes, but again, protect yourself and keep yourself just moving along on your path, as we have with everything else. If we do get little things, we might have to take a little detour financially, and that's okay. Don't forget, like I said, hit the like buttons, and I will see you in the next video. I'll say goodbye from Australia today, and bye from Sprocket, and bye from Sophie. Oh, there's the tail. Bye. Say goodbye, Sophie. I'll stop patting, and then her tail. Oh, they're ridiculous. And Sprocket, oh, he's got to hold his hand. Say goodbye. Okay, take care, everybody. I'll talk to you soon. See you. Have a great day. Bye.